Hey guys, you guys know what time it is. It is the McCall's and Nomi pattern drops. Now, I'm going to separate both videos to keep it short. McCall's and Nomi, and you can always go back to it. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch.
Why don't you go see your boyfriend?
Yeah, he's got a nice room. He won't have it long. He left a call for 7 a.m.
Bad girls make them say wow. Bad girls make them say wow. Bad girls make them say wow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video, I'm going to keep this video short, sweet, and to the point. We're going to be talking about the McCall Summer 2024 pattern drop. Now, I would love to come to you guys in front of you guys today, but your girl just got off of work. Want to hurry up and get this video to you, and by the time I remember to do this video, because I was going to actually wait until tomorrow, but then I was like, you guys know what? Let's talk about no excuses. I'm not going to make any excuses today or anything because your girl is tired, just got home, but I'm going to get this out to you ASAP. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, Ciao, Guten, Aloha, Hola, Konnichiwa, Gwaan, Sabonani, Shalom, Bonjour, Terve. If you are returning, you guys know what to do. Quick snack, something to drink, grab those notebooks so you can write down comparisons and everything, all the details that I give when I do these pattern drops. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first one. So this McCall's, we're going to do McCall's first. So McCall's, I'm just going to do McCall's in this bunch to begin with. So this drop features McCall's $84.99 to McCall's $85.21. They are the summer 2024 patterns. Now, to be honest, they're okay. There's a few that I would pick up, and I'll share that with you as well. So let's get into the first one, McCall's $84.99. Now, all of these are McCall patterns, so I'm just going to give you the pattern numbers from here on out. All the patterns you could pick up in paper patterns or PDF as well. So the first pattern, McCall's $84.99, is a Mrs. Dress and Top by Laura Ashley. Now, this is a 1970s Laura Ashley dress or top sewing pattern. It is pretty much a button dress or top that has the patch pockets and strap buttons to the band. Now, this is an authentic vintage reproduction pattern that includes additional sizes and cutting layout as well. It states that it's an easy to sew pattern as well. In terms of sizing, it's 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second pattern as well. Let's talk fabric. So in terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric such as your challis cotton blends, lightweight cotton, or lightweight linens are the fabrics that they suggest. Okay, but of course you can use your own pattern. Now, in terms of notions, you're going to need some button, you're going to need some seam binding as well, some lace if you choose to, that's optional. And then for view C, you're going to need some 8-inch, half-inch buttons, 8 half-inch buttons as well. But once again, it's an easy to sew pattern. This pattern is $84.99, Laura Ashley pattern. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 8500 or 8500. This is a 1980s Mrs. Knit dress and jumpsuit pattern. Now, this pattern is not like one that I would be picking up. I will be definitely passing on this pattern, but this pattern is an easy to sew pattern. So it's a dress or longer or shorter jumpsuit. It has the extended shoulders, shoulder pads, which is also optional if you do not want that detail, front and back shaped waistline, top stitching, and a full gathered skirt, shorts, or tapered pants. So one view is kind of like your jumpsuit, one is more like a romper, and then one is more like a dress, just to give you that. Now, they state that all garments may be worn with a mock wrap bodice, which means a fake wrap bodice. It's not completely wrapped all the way around in the front or in the back. So you could pretty much switch it up if you want. You could have it in the front or in the back, or you could do kind of like a switcheroo to where you have the front just kind of like normal and then the back. It's kind of like however you want to do that as well. All right. Now, in terms of sizing, 2 envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on that second envelope. Let's talk fabric. So this is a knit, dress, jumpsuit, or romper. And with that being said, you're going to need knit fabrics, just to give you that as well. In terms of notions, I like the fact that this is a no notion pattern, which means you need to write it down. Don't walk, don't skip, don't run, but hurry up and get your hands to writing. 8,500 down for those of you who's been keeping track of no notion patterns. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. The next pattern is 8501. This is a 1990s Mrs. Mock sarong dress in 2 lengths. Okay, so this one I'm not really feeling, to be 100% honest with you. I have a pattern similar like this, which is a really old McCall's pattern, like in the 300 series, that I would have to dig up. So yes, this is a reproduction pattern as well. Now this is a set of straight fitted dress. It has the bias tape forming the waistline casing for the elastic at the waist, okay? It also features a shaped front hemline for walking ease, front drape sewn into the right side seam, and it also features a tie wrap. Now, the sarong skirt reminds me of the butterick pattern. So to me, I feel like you could just do a basic knit top and just add a sarong and add some elastic to it, okay? And you pretty much have the same thing as well. It is an easy to sew pattern as well. In terms of the sizing, there's 2 envelopes, 4 to 12, and then 12 to 20 on the second envelope as well. Let's talk fabrics. So in terms of fabric, you can use many type of woven fabrics, just to name a few. Shea Muse, you can use jersey, lightweight crepe, lightweight linen, rayon blends, or silk, or soft cotton, or cotton blends, just to name a few. If you're looking at using Ankara fabric for this, you can do that as well. I know you guys always ask me, can I use Ankara fabric for it? Yes, you can. You can use whatever fabric that you want for your sewn garments, okay? Let's talk notions. So in terms of notions, you're gonna need some single fold bias tape. With that being said, you're also gonna need some elastic for the waist as well, all right? But this is an easy to sew pattern. 8501 is this pattern number. Let's move over to the next one, which is 8502, which is a Brandy Jones pattern. Now, this is a Mrs. Bikini and skirt pattern. I actually like this one as well. You guys know that it's going to come with a sew along by Brandy Jones herself. Now, this pattern right here is a, perfect for summer beach set for a day, 2-night type look. So it has a front knot bikini top. It has the adjustable straps and a back tie as well. View B would be your high-rise bottom that had the ruching going on into that V in the front and in the back. And then view C is your elastic waist mock wrap skirt that has the front opening or slit, you could call it. It also features the side gathers and a narrow hem as well. Now, don't forget, this is an average to sew pattern, so you need a little bit of skills for this, okay? But Brandy Jones herself will walk you through every step of the way of the sew along. Let's talk the pattern sizing. So in terms of pattern sizing, it's 4 to 12 and 14 to 22 on the second envelope. Now, because this is a bikini, what type of fabric will you use? Well, let's talk about the fabric that you will need. You will need some form of knit fabric, okay? Preferably like a swimwear knit or novelty knit will be the 2 knits that you will need. You could also use cotton knit, interlock, or ITY, or jersey knits, just to name a few. A couple of notions that you will need for the bikini, or I should say the top portion, you would need some bra strap sliders and rings. You need a pair of that, preferably at 3/8 of an inch. If you're doing like the bikini or the bottom portion of it, which is view B, you're gonna need some elastic for the sides of the bikini. And then view C, which is the skirt, you're going to need 1-inch elastic as well. But once again, it's an average to sew pattern. It's 8502. Moving over to the next pattern, that's Brandy Jones. It will feature a sew along as well. This is a Mrs. dress. Now, this one is the on or off the shoulder dress that have the circle flounce around the neckline. I like this pattern. I'm going to be picking it up, all right? It also features boned bodice. So the bodice has some boning that's going on. It also features lace up the back with cording and grommets as well. Zipper closure and a side slit at the skirt, okay? So you could basically customize this with lace if you choose to. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of the sizing, 2 envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second envelope. You guys, let's go ahead and talk fabric. Why not? while we're here. Okay, so the fabric that you will need that you can use are challis, cotton blends, crepe, just to name a few. You're going to need some lining fabric for this as well. In terms of notion, do not skip out on the boning, okay? Do not skip out on the grommets either, all right? So you're gonna need 26 grommet, whoo, Lord, 26 grommets with openings. You're also going to need some cording. You're going to need a 7-inch invisible zipper as well as some elastic as well. But you could definitely read the back of the envelope that tells you what notions you will need. Once again, it is 8503. Moving over to the next one, I actually like this next one, which is 8504. This is a learn to fit pattern. Melissa Watson for Palmer and Pletch pattern as well. So it is a shirt style jacket that has collar, shoulder pads, large front pockets with the flaps. It also features a front button closure, a back yoke, and then it has like the sheared elastic back, and it features a long 2-piece sleeve with cuff and buttons as well. So I like this pattern. You know, your girl is definitely getting this pattern. It is an average sew pattern. Let's talk sizing. So in terms of sizing, it's 8 to 16, 2 envelopes, 8 to 16 and 18 to 26 on the second pattern. When we are talking about fabrics, you guys know you can use cotton blends, lightweight denim, linen, just to name a few. You also going to need a couple of notions, and the notions you're going to need will be the elastic for the back. You'll also need at least 4 1-inch buttons and 6 5/8-inch buttons as well. Now, the shoulder pads are optional if you like to put shoulder pads, you know, in your shirt or shirt jacket or shacket, whatever you want to call it. But once again, it's 8504, and your girl will definitely be picking this up. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 8505. Now, this one is the Mrs. Knit dress. It's an easy to sew pattern, but when I seen this one on the website, this one reminded me of so many patterns. But first, let me tell you what this pattern features. All right, so this is a easy to sew knit dress. It has the cutout details in the front and length and sleeve variation. So view A dress has the halter neckties and an O-ring detail. View B and view C, that one features a front cutout keyhole style that ties in the back as well. So let's talk about it. So first things first, the first pattern that this reminds me of is Vogue 1951. So with this one, this 1951, it reminds me of what the model is wearing in view C. It's a little different, but it's pretty much the same situation, all right? It also reminds me of Vogue 2025 that just came out. I believe Mimi G wore this one to the Atlanta Frocktail. I have a whole video on the Atlanta Frocktail that I will put up right here, but also put it in the description box below in order for you to see that. So view B reminds me of Vogue 2025. All right, so it's similar. It's like, it's not exactly the same, but it is super similar to both of those patterns, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about the sizing. So the sizing is 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second envelope. Let's go ahead and talk about fabric. Well, I already said it's a knit dress, so what type of fabric will you need? You will need some form of knit, cotton knits, ponte knit, ITY knits, jersey knits, just to name a few. In terms of notions, you're going to need some cording. You're also going to need an O-ring and some elastic, okay? So those are the notions that you're going to be needing for this pattern. This is an easy to sew pattern as well. So that's what you're going to need for this pattern. Once again, it's 8505. Moving over to the next one, it's 8506. Now, this is the Mrs. Dress. It's also an easy to sew dress as well. Now, this is an asymmetric tiered sundress. It has the gathering, side pockets, and a narrow hem. Now, view A features a spaghetti strap, shoulder strap, and contrast, whereas view B has the asymmetrical hem. And then also on view B and view C, instead of the spaghetti strap, it features a scoop neckline and sleeveless armhole that you will need to finish with bias tape, okay? Or you can make facing if you choose to. I have a whole video on how to draft facing as well. I'll link that in the description box below and put it up here for you so you're able to see that as well. But let's go ahead and talk about the sizing. So in terms of sizing, it's 2 pattern envelopes, 8-16 and 18-26 on the second envelope. Let's talk fabric. So in terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric of your choosing, whether that's cotton blends, gauze, poplin, lightweight sateen, just to name a few, you're gonna need some lightweight fusible interfacing as well. And the only notion you're gonna need is single fold bias tape. So this needs to be put in your no notions. You could put this as a no notion, but just know that you could either draft facing or just use bias tape. All right. But once again, it's 8506. If you do view A, it's no notion. But if you do view B or view C, you're going to need some single fold bias tape. All right. So let's go ahead and move over to the next one. One thing I want to mention about 8506, this pattern is a copy of a previous pattern. I don't remember the pattern number, but if you know, go ahead and put it in the comment section so others will know. It is a super easy pattern from like summer 2014, 2015. If I can remember what it is, I'll definitely put it in the description box below right next to the pattern number like I do for all of them, okay? But it's going to take me a minute to kind of figure out which one it is. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 8507. This one is a Mrs. and Woman's dress pattern. It is an easy to sew dress that have the ruche bodice. It also features elastic neckline and waist, a narrow hem, and length and sleeve variation. It is an easy to sew pattern. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 10-18 on the first one and 20W to 28W on the second pattern envelope. So let's go ahead and talk fabric, shall we? So in terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric, cotton blends, poplin, gauze, challis, just to name a few. In terms of notions, you're going to need some single fold bias tape for this one as well. That's the only notion that you're going to need for this one. Now let's talk about what this pattern reminds me of. So I want to say just last year, it's either spring or summer patterns. This reminds me of a Simplicity pattern. Now, it's similar, but it's not the same. It reminds me of Simplicity 9746 pattern. It reminds me a lot of this one. It's like I mentioned, it's not the exact same, but it's kind of have the same features. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that this one is similar and reminds me of that one, but I'm definitely going to be picking up this pattern, just like I'm going to pick up 8506, but I'm going to pick up 8507 as well. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 8508. Now this is just basically your basic button front dress, okay, with sleeve variations. Now this one can be used as battle of the shirt dress if you choose to, okay. This is an average to sew pattern. It is a button front dress that features top stitching detail, spread collar, a spread collar. I'm not going to even go ahead and tell you guys about what a spread collar is. Look it up, Google it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. This one also features side pockets and double stitch hem. Now view A dress have the sleeveless armhole view that you will need to finish that off with bias tape. View B is more like your short sleeve, and then view C is a long sleeve as well. I like the fact that this one has kind of like your panels. If you remember when I did Simplicity 9641, I think is what it was. That one features panels as well. So it reminds me kind of like that with all the different panels that you will attach to create the dress. But I love this one, and stay tuned. You might see this one on the channel pretty soon. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about sizing. In terms of sizing, there's 2 pattern envelopes. First one is 8-16 and then 18-26 on the second pattern envelope. Let's talk fabric. So in terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric, denim would be a good one, linen, poplin, or even cotton blends. You're gonna need some lightweight fusible interfacing. This is an average to sew pattern. And in terms of notions, if you do view A or view B, well, any of the views, you're gonna need buttons. Let's get that together, okay? But if you do view A, you're going to need some single fold bias tape, all right? You could also make your own bias tape. But once again, this is 8508. Moving over to the next pattern, it's 8509. Now, this is a Mrs. Top pattern. So this pattern features a flared peplum top with lace bodice. bodices. It have buster details. It also features a sweetheart neckline. So it also has a invisible back zipper, narrow hem, and then view A. I like view A, I like view B, but your view C have the top. The top has sleeves that can be worn on or off the shoulder and has a contrast gathered overlay as well. I'm not really feeling that one, but one thing that I noticed about this pattern, it reminds me of McCall's 7902. So it's very similar, like your view B is very similar to that pattern. This pattern right here is going to feature a sew along. So mark that down if you're interested in that. The sew along should be up on the channel pretty soon. Once again, it's 8509. So let's go ahead and talk about the pattern sizing. Two sizes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second one as well. I didn't mention that. But in terms of fabric, you need like some form of a nice silky fabric, like a satin would be good as well. A crepe would be good to use as well. So the only notion that you will need for this pattern is a 14-inch invisible zipper. Once again, it's 8509. Moving over to the next one, it's 8510. Now, this one is a missus skirt, okay? It's an average to sew pattern. Basically, what it is in plain terms, it's a midi-length circle skirt that have the narrow hem, waistband with the hook and eye. If you want to do a hook and eye, y'all know I can't stand doing a hook and eye, but that's just me. I take that invisible zipper up to the top and we're good to go, all right? So it has an invisible zipper closure. View B and view C have curved seams, which means that basically it just have like little wiggly lines into the seam. So it's going to feature a couple of curves, all right? And it also have contrast or color blocking, okay, is what the contrast means. So if you're looking for kind of like a circle skirt, simple, basic one, this can be for you for view A. If you want to color block it, view B, view C will be your color block options as well. All right, so let's talk about sizing. So in terms of sizing, two pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 on the first one and 18 to 26 on that second envelope. Let's talk fabric. Fabrics could be challis, cotton blends, rayon would be good for this one as well. You're gonna need some lightweight fusible interfacing. So in terms of the notions, the only notion you're gonna need outside of that hook and bar closure, if you decide to do the hook and bar closure, you're gonna need a 7-inch invisible zipper. Now you guys know I use longer zippers to keep that zipper pull out of my way. So I'm just gonna say instead of a 7-inch, I will definitely be using a 9-inch zipper. That's just me, okay? But use whatever size you want. This is an average to sew pattern, and once again, it's 8510. Moving over to the next one, it's 8511, and this one is a Mrs. Shorts and Pants pattern. Okay, so these shorts and pants are perfect for making a statement for sure. Now, this pattern features a circle shorts and pants. It have ruffle hem, back yoke, front pockets, waistband with belt loops, a fly front zipper, and a button closure. Okay. View C has contrast on the side. Like I mentioned, it is an average to sew pattern. In terms of the pattern sizing, two envelopes, 4 to 12, and then 14 to 22 on the second envelope. Let's talk fabrics. Fabrics, you can use cotton blends, denim, linen, challis, just to name a few. You're gonna need some lightweight fusible interfacing. In terms of notions, you're gonna need a 7-inch all-purpose or exposed zipper. Please do not use an invisible zipper for this one. Why? Because it features a fly front zipper, and you can't use a invisible zipper when you're doing a fly. Okay, don't make that mistake. Okay, you're also gonna need a 5/8-inch button, just one of those. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is this pattern definitely reminds me of a pattern from a couple of years back, spring, summer. This pattern reminds me of McCall's 8223. I'm gonna put that up so you're able to see it. So for this pattern, it like view B and view C remind me of McCall's 8223, but I'm still gonna pick this pattern up because I like those shorts. So I'm just gonna go ahead and purchase that as well. All right. but that's 8511. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 8512 and 8513. So the Mrs. Knit jumpsuit is 8512. The woman's size is 8513. So let me first start off with the pattern sizing. For the Mrs. pattern sizing is 2 envelopes, 4 to 12, and then 12 to 20. On the woman's side, there's 2 envelopes as well, 20W to 28W, and then 30W to 38W on the second envelope. All right. So this pattern is a floor length jumpsuit and dress. It has paneled seaming details. What that means is basically it just has different panels that you're going to attach together to get, I mean, like you could color block this, right? So you're going to have different panels that you're going to attach to form that jumpsuit. All right. Now it also features a 1-inch strap, a scoop neckline, and a self bra. I like that. Self bra, we here. All right. View B and view C are the 2 views that have that contrast panel for you to have that color blocking. It is an average to sew pattern. Now, in terms of fabrics, you're going to need knit. So cotton knit, interlock, jersey, just to name a few. You're also going to need some interfacing. And the interfacing that you need to be using is fusible knit interfacing. Please do not use woven interfacing for this because you may have some problems and we don't want you to have those problems. In terms of notions, you're going to need some elastic. So make sure you do not skip out on that elastic as well. Once again, it's 8512 and 8513. Moving over to the next pattern is 8514. It's a Mrs. and woman's romper and jumpsuit. Now this one comes, all sizes are included in 1 envelope. Now let's talk about, speaking of sizing, let's talk about the sizing envelope. There's 2 envelopes. The first envelope is 10 to 18 and the second one is 20W to 28W. Now this pattern will also feature a sew along. So this pattern features a corset style romper and jumpsuit. It has front zipper closure, a square neckline, seam detailing, and sleeveless armhole finish that's finished with bias tape. All right, and view C have your contrast panels. So let's talk about this one. This is an average to sew pattern. Let's talk about the fabrics first, and then I'm going to tell you what this pattern reminds me of. So in terms of the fabric, you're going to need cotton blends. You can use cotton blends, twill, denim, or linen. Now, me personally, I would use twill for this one for that structure. All right. In terms of notions, you're going to need a 20-inch all-purpose exposed zipper for our misses, and then 22 inches if you are doing the woman's side. Please do not skip out on the single fold bias tape. All right. Now, one thing that I noticed is this pattern reminds me of good old Mimi G's pattern, Simplicity 9234. The only difference is her pattern features sleeves. Okay. You can do a sleeveless if you choose to, but this one definitely reminds me of Mimi G's Simplicity 9234 for this pattern. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. And oh, by the way, I will be picking up 8514 and 8512. Okay. Moving over to the next one, 8515. So this one just reminds me of like a pair of pajamas for sure. But this is a Mrs. dress top and pant pattern. One thing I'm going to mention is this pattern reminds me of the Simplicity pattern. No, actually, I believe it was McCall's pattern that just dropped in the spring. Nothing different. The whole color block top and pants. Nothing different there. I will be skipping out on this pattern, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So it's a shirt dress that can be used for Battle of the Shirt Dress that's going on right now. I will be sewing up the first shirt dress here in the upcoming weeks. Okay. So it's a shirt dress, a top, and the top have short sleeve and a pair of pants. So for the shirt dress, it features a collar, front button opening, a back yoke, and contrast. So you could color block if you choose to. View A shirt dress has a tied belt and rick-rack trim on the sleeves if you choose that detail as well. It features a placket and a hem. Now view B, which is the top, it has the front chest pocket and trim on the sleeves if you decide to do that. It also features a placket down the front for your button placket and pocket. And then view C are your pull-on pants that have contrast, elastic, and a drawstring at the waistband and a narrow hem. It is an easy to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26 on the second pattern. Let's talk fabric in terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric like cottons, crepes, chalets, or lawn, just to name a few. In terms of, you're also going to need lightweight fusible interfacing. In terms of notions, you're going to need some buttons, rick-rack. If you choose to do that trim, you're going to need drawstring cording for the pants, if you choose to do the pants, as well as the shirt dress. Okay, so that's all you're going to need. You're going to need some elastic for the pants as well. So those are all the notions that you're going to need in order to do any of the views on this pattern. Once again, easy to sew pattern, 8515. Next pattern is 8516, and this is a caftan pattern in 2 lengths. Now, this one is a button front caftan and have the placket gathers at the waist, collar band, collar stand, and the collar, okay? So view C has the contrast at the band, the collar stand, and the placket. So it's a lot of color blocking going on in view C. And then view A and view B are just your regular caftan that you can use one color, okay? Now this one will also feature a so small to extra large on this one. Let's go ahead and talk fabric. So any type of woven fabric, challis, gauze, georgette, just to name a few, you're going to need some lightweight fusible interfacing. And the only notion you're going to need is 5 1/2-inch buttons. Okay. So that's everything that you're going to need for this pattern, an average to sew pattern, and it's 8516. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern, which is 8517. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not picking up either or 8516, 8517 either. But this is a men's rash guard in shorts. I don't like it, to be honest with you. I'm going to leave this one up on the shelf or on simplicity.com. But this is a rash guards with shorts or long sleeve, raglan sleeves, right? It features neckband and narrow hem. View B has the contrast sleeves and the neckband, and then you have the shorts in 2 lengths. The shorts also features a waistband and drawstrings with the grommets that you put through the drawstring, okay? View D features the contrast lower front and back. Now, it states that it's an easy to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 2 pattern envelopes, 34 to 42, and then 44 to 52 on the second pattern envelope. In terms of the fabric, now for the top, you're going to need some form of knit, preferably swimwear knit. And then in terms of the shorts, you could use any type of mesh or tricoat for the lining. And then for the shorts, you're going to need some form of knits too. Now for the shorts, it says that you can use performance woven or swimwear woven. So basically performance woven is basically like, you know how like the wiki material or whatnot. So just be mindful of that. You're going to need some elastic in terms of notions. You're going to need some elastic, some drawstring cording, or a pair of grommets for the opening on the shorts. All right. But once again, it's an easy to sew pattern and it's 8517. Moving over to the last pattern, because I'm not going to feature any of the kids pattern, accessory patterns, or any type of doggy patterns or anything like that. We leave those out for the drop. Okay. If you're interested in that, go to simplicity.com. So you're able to see that as well. So this is the last pattern and it's 8518. Now this one is a men's polo shirt. I'm going to 86 this one and skip out on it for sure, but it's a fitted polo shirt. It have the partial button or zipper closure, collar, sleeve variation, and optional front pocket. Now view A features a long sleeve. View B features a short sleeve. View C has the contrast on the collar, placket, and band, which is our long sleeve shirt, polo shirt. However, it's contrast. And then view D have like that zipper, and it's a short sleeve as well. This is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 1 pattern envelope, small to extra large there. And then in terms of the fabric, you're going to need some form of a knit in order to sew this polo shirt. All right. Now, don't skip out on the notions. The notions you're going to need for A, B, or C, you're going to need 3 buttons. And then view D that features that zipper, you're going to need a 9-inch all-purpose exposed zipper. All right. Now, those are all the patterns for the McCall's drop. Tell me which ones you like. I think it was about 5 patterns that I would be picking up during this drop. Don't forget that on the simplicity.com website right now, you can get these patterns and score. Okay, so McCall's and Nomi are on sale right now on the website at $4.99. You can wait for Joann's to have them on sale for possibly $2.99, maybe $3.99. Don't know because Joann's have been inflating these prices. Okay, so get them while they're hot. Also, if you go to the simplicity.com website, you can score the patterns right now. Free shipping on orders over $30, and it ends, mark your calendar, May 27th. All right. Well, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed. And if this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button. Also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, keep sewing.